All right, guys, welcome. Happy Monday. So, this is our Team Sweaty Lovely Life team call. It's Monday, April 8th. So, the second Monday of the month, and I am super pumped. So, I just want to go through a little bit of some announcements and recognition. So, I'm just going to share my screen. All right. So it's the second Monday of the month, and there's a couple things that are coming up. So it's April. We are already through the first freaking quarter of the year, which is craziness. So I just kind of want to remind you guys of things if you don't already have these on the radar, just to make sure you do. So we have Super Weekend. It's coming up this weekend. So it's April 12th, 13th, or 14th. So check out wherever you live. They're all over the freaking place. If you don't have one like in your close vicinity, I've gone to 4 different locations for a Super Saturday. Within a couple hours, up to 4 hours, we've traveled. It's just a great way to connect yourself with the community, to show people what you're a part of, to create sort of that FOMO, and just also to like bring some people along, friends that or family that might be interested, that want to know what you do, what you're a part of. I can't rave about it enough. So if you are one of my coaches, make sure you're getting your butt to one of these. Or if you're from the Rochester area, we've got a whole crew going to the Rochester event. So put that on your calendar, get your ticket, do the thing. Okay? All right. The next thing is Summit. All right. So this is the last and final sale. The last run for Summit. That is happening July 11th through 14th. This will be my first summit this year, and I cannot even wait. We have a Airbnb already rented out. We are basically looking to make it like the most fun, amazing weekend. So if you don't have your ticket yet, now's the time. It's the last and final sale. I think it's actually $195, which is pricey. It would jump back up. So this is the last time to get it at the discounted price. And I can just say my wedding was during Summit last year, and I still couldn't contain how bad I wanted to be at Summit, and I was getting married that weekend. So it is definitely something. It will change your business. It will change your perspective and change your mindset about this community. And I'm speaking that from an outsider's perspective, because I know how much I look up to, how it changed my perspective. And as someone, before I even left into coaching, it was actually watching people at Summit that caused me to finally be like, all right, I need to be a part of this. So even if you're a brand new coach, make sure, just take the leap, go for it. I mean, have some fun, make it a memorable weekend with you and your team. If someone's not just hopped on, can you just make sure you're muted? Oh wait, I got you. All right. So, so Summit, do it. All right. The last thing, oh God, I'm editing. Oh God. I hate this thing. Presentation's obnoxious, though. I hate putting in presentation. All right, the last thing I wanted to touch on is our Diamond Retreat. So if you are on my team or Leah's team, you're one of my coaches, I wanted to remind you guys of our cutoff for our Diamond Retreat is May 23rd. Okay, so you have to be heading into qualifications as a diamond by May 23rd to qualify for our retreat. It's in Lake Placid, August 16th through 18th. We have this house rented out. We're going to do some hiking, some photo shoots. I love Lake Placid. Oh my God, if you guys don't know the Adirondacks, it's insane. It's so beautiful. There's so many things to do. So I'm super excited, but I want to, again, put that on your radar if you don't already have that on your calendar. All right, I'm having a word. I'm blanking. Okay, finally, I want to announce our guest speaker. So Katie is our guest speaker tonight. I am so excited that she is going to be sharing with us. So Katie is a 5-star elite. She hit it this, was it going into the end of the year you hit 5-star? Yeah. All right.
The very last week that I could hit it, I hit it. So
Who freaking cares?
barely
I
squeaked
remember
by.
watching her pushing for elite, and she had her freaking big whiteboard, and she was like living in the coffee shop, just grinding away. So that is just insane. It's so amazing that she did that. And we met at leadership in February, and I just fangirled all over her. And so I am just so excited. So she's a Success Club legend. She is newly engaged. She has like the cutest engagement story ever. So if you want to go check out her social media and go back and just stalk that, it's so cute, so beautiful. And she just recently bought a house. So she is a busy, busy lady, and she is going to talk to us tonight about how she built this business while working full-time into what it is today. So it took a lot of hard work and dedication, and I can't wait to hear her story and her wisdom and tips. So I'm going to mute myself and let her take it away.
You guys hear me okay? Cool. Okay, so thank you for that amazing intro. I just want to say that I'm honored to be on your call. And today, Amy talked about in her stories how I was guest speaking for you guys. And she said how when we met each other, we were both just like really super like socially awkward. And we were like, I don't know, like the same person. And I think it's so true. It's so funny. And yeah, we just met in Los Angeles at leadership, and then we got to see each other again on a cruise. So I just think it's so cool, like how fast you can make friends. And I wanted to thank you, Amy, for letting my girls hop on. That was really, really nice of you. We do our team calls on Monday too. I was like, oh, I need to invite them. So my topic, I have notes. I'm a note taker. So if you see me like looking down, I'm not texting, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so basically I'm gonna talk about how I built my business while working full time, but also talk about like the mindset on building my business and overcoming challenges. So I'm going to kind of intertwine them all, so it's not going to be like one thing and the next and the next, because I think a lot of me working my business while I was still working full time mainly has to do with mindset and overcoming challenges, because we all know like what it takes to actually be successful. We know it just takes the hard stuff like inviting and stuff like that. So it's going to be more mindset, but a little bit of each. So I'm just going to get started. So basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my background and my story. A lot of people don't know, if you're on my team, you guys already know all this, but anyways, a lot of people don't know that I actually stopped doing this business 2 different times. I became a coach a long time ago now. It was when 21 Day Fix first came out, so I think it was 2014. Wait, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so 5 years ago. And I first finished my first round of 21 Day Fix, and I became a coach right after that, with at first not really like any intention of working the business. I really had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I got results, and my coach asked me if I wanted to become a coach. I was like, heck yeah. So I became a coach, and I didn't really do anything. And I would like post on Instagram every so often, maybe like once a week. I would go in there with like a 21 Day Fix graphic. And I just came across my time hop the other day, and I literally posted a graphic with the DVDs on it and stuff. And I had said like, I'm doing another round of 21 Day Fix. Who wants to join me? So that was how bad my social media game used to be. But so I kind of tried to get into the coaching thing for a little bit, and then I was like, no, I'm done. It's not for me, like whatever. And so I stopped, and then I picked it back up a year later, so 2015, and pretty much the same thing. Like I didn't have any goals set. I didn't have any like anything that was, you know, a big vision or a big why or why I wanted to coach. I was just bouncing along, like still just randomly posting on social media whenever. And so again, I didn't do anything for the next year. I just stopped literally everything, didn't do anything coach wise until 2016. And between 2015 and 2016, I went back to school for dietetics, because at that point I had lost my weight, my 45 pounds, and I was feeling amazing. And I loved the nutrition aspect. I was like, oh my gosh, I love nutrition. I love learning about it. I love teaching people about it. So I was like, I'll just go to school for this. It's going to be great. And obviously at the same time, I was still signed up as a coach, not doing anything. So this was my 4th time going back to college because I quit the other 4 times and I dropped out. I was the not a model student. It was horrible. But anyways, so when I went back for dietetics, I quickly realized that, again, I was not there for the right reasons. I hated it. I hated every second of it. And it basically took all the fun and excitement out of what I loved about nutrition. So it was making me hate nutrition. I'm like, you know what? This isn't for me. I cannot do this anymore. So I quit my college little fun there for the 4th and final time. And in that moment, I decided that I was going to get my full-time job and going to go all in with coaching. Because I had still been watching my coach, Jamie, just kill it. Her team was growing. She was going on all these trips. And I was sitting there like, okay, well, I mean, I am a coach. I could be doing this. Why am I not? And so that's when I finally went all in 2016. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. So I decided to sit down. I made a plan. I made a vision board for the very first time. And I had some really amazing, scary things on there. And what I realized really, really quickly was that it was hard to, try to balance coaching with having a relationship, with having a full-time job, with blah, 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 all these different things. But I had to really, really, really be diligent with my time and how I spent my time in order to succeed at coaching. So first and foremost, I was just say the thing that helped me really focus was my vision board. And I know you guys probably hear about them all the time, like, oh, make a vision board. And it sounds so cheesy, but it's like the best thing you could ever do for yourself, and make them really, really push goals. And so what I did when I created my vision board, it's yay big. So I sat it in the windowsill right above my desk. So when I sat down to work, I could see that every single day. And so when I was unmotivated, when I came home from my full-time job at the dental office and I didn't want to freaking work because I was exhausted, I would look at that vision board and I'd be like, okay, I know I need to get to work right now. So I'm just going to kind of break down what my day looked like while I was working full time. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenges that I did face while I was building my business. So what my day looked like was I decided to make myself get up earlier. So lots of days I would wake up at 4 a.m. or 4:30 to get my workout in so I could have time to shower, get ready before I had to be at work at 7:45. And so I would listen to personal development or, a team call recording or something during my workouts. So I decided, so I don't know if I'm frozen or not.
Yeah,
Okay.
you slowed down for a minute, but you're good now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So I did the whole PD thing during my workout, and then sometimes I would get up even earlier to make sure I had enough time to at least answer messages or start new messages in the morning. And then I got an hour lunch break every single day for lunch. And so what I would do is I would take all my work stuff out to my car with me, and I literally sat out there for the full hour. I did 10 minutes of PD to get me in the right mindset because I hated my job and I was cranky every day. So I needed to get positive again before I went into my inbox. And then I spent the rest of that hour going through to see who would watch my stories from the morning, and I talked to them. I would talk to my new followers. Basically, that was a time for me to be in my Instagram inbox. And then when I got home from work at night, that was a time for me to respond to all those messages that did come in, check in with my boot camps, create more relationships. But basically, I worked from the time I got home from work until I went to bed. And I know that might sound crazy, but I didn't have any responsibilities really. I had a boyfriend, but I hated him, so I didn't really want to hang out with him anyways. But so that's how I was able to work. I found power pockets during my day, during work. Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. And I just made it work. And one quote that I heard today, and I hope I can get back to it. oh, I don't remember. I'll have to look it up after this. But it's not about, do you have time? It's about, are you willing to make time? Are you willing to make time for the things that you want in your business that are going to push you forward? Because so many of us have, oh my gosh, I'm sorry if you guys hear someone yelling outside. So you make time for what you want in this business. So really quick, I want you guys to go in the chat and tell me right now what is holding you back in this business, or what was holding you back that maybe you have overcome. I just kind of want to see like where you guys are at, and what's your kind of roadblock right now. And then I'm going to read those in a little bit. Okay, so one thing that I would do while I was working full time, I made it a point to do a coach preview every single Friday, because I know that I couldn't be as present as I wanted to be during my work hours during the day when I'm gone for 10 hours. Like, that you can't be that present. But when I was on there, I was constantly reminding people that I have this coach sneak peek on Friday, I have this on Friday. And the cool thing was that people saw me, working my full-time job, but also doing this coaching job, and also inviting to it and letting people know that, I work full-time and I'm inviting you to do this with me, and other people who are also working full-time but want to, make the shift to a health coach. And they're going to say, okay, well, she's inviting to this and she's got 2 jobs. So maybe this is something that I can join too, to kind of get away from my full-time job or things like that. So I think that you need to always be reminding people how it's possible. The biggest thing is show them how it's possible to work full time, but also be healthy, and also stay on track with your nutrition, and also stay on track with your fitness. So it's so powerful to, pack your little lunchbox or your little cooler when you go into work, and then show them throughout the day what you're having. A lot of people say, I can't post on stories while I'm at work. It's really hard for me on work days to post on social media. I did it before I went to work. At my lunch break, when I was in the car, I'd always show them what I was eating, and then I would take a selfie. I would post it on Instagram during my break, so I got something up there during work. And then I would always just tell them, what I'm meal prepping for the day, what I had meal prepped that I could take to work easily. So you can always be adding value, even on the days that you're just like, I'm at work, I'm boring today, I don't know what to share. People want to see what you're up to, even at work. They want to see what you're eating. They want to see what you're bringing. Just be that inspiration for them that they can follow fitness and nutrition wise. And then of course, be that inspiration for them to follow as a coach, And the biggest thing that I talked about was my vision for why I was coaching while I worked a full-time job. Some people, they won't know why you're doing it. They'll be like, this girl's crazy. Like, why is she going to work and then working after work? Does she even have a life? Yes, we have lives. It's because we want more out of life. And I don't know how many of you want to be, a full-time coach, or maybe some of you already are full-time coaches. But I always shared that I was working to make this full-time before I was full-time. I would tell them why. I would tell them what I was working for. And I think that's so, so, so important, because if you don't tell them why you're doing it, they have no idea why. And then when you do tell them why, they'll be like, oh my gosh, you know what? I want that too. Like, I want that freedom to work from home. They're going to see you working for it, and they're going to say, I want that. So I want to work towards it with her. So it's so important to show up for your girls every single day, whether you are working full-time at a different job or not. So always, always, always be present. And so now I want to talk a little bit about where my mindset was when I was working full-time, and when I had just dove back into coaching in 2016. I did not go into it with the best mindset. I was comparing myself hardcore to other coaches. I would look at them and say, I'm never going to be them. I'm never going to be a top coach. I'm never going to be successful because, they're fitter than me. They're prettier than me. They've been in the business for longer, blah, blah, blah. I don't have what it takes. And I think that at some point or another, we've probably all struggled with those thoughts. It's only human. And I feel like, especially for girls, like, it's just human to compare ourselves to other people like that. So it took me a while to get out of my own head. But when I finally did, it was magical. It was like nobody could take away the confidence that I had. And you just have to keep telling yourself that you can be the top coach in the company. You can make it happen. You just have to put the work in. The difference between what I wasn't doing and what I started doing was so it was so different. So when I was in that bad mindset of comparing myself and not being good enough, it was because I wasn't even trying. And so, of course, I wasn't going to be good enough because I wasn't doing anything. I was posting my transformations. I was posting on stories. I was posting on social media. Like, that's what I was told I was supposed to do every day. So, why am I not seeing success? Maybe I really can't do this. Well, it's because I wasn't implementing the inviting and the coach previews and the hard stuff. I thought inviting was a public invite when we all know it's more than that. You have to go in the DMs. You have to be constantly inviting. So when I changed that and when I started inviting like a wild banshee, that's when things started changing. That's when my mindset changed. That's when I learned, wow, I can do this. Wow, I can be just as good as any other coach. And it was all, my mindset changed because my what's the word I'm looking for? Because my activities changed, my mindset changed. So I think they really, really, really go hand in hand. I'm going to read to see what you guys, okay, so personal transformation, comparison game, what people think of you, what people think, be intentional with time, comparison, balance of coaching, working full-time relationship. So I'm going to go to the what people think because that one is so huge. And that is something that I struggled with also when I started back up in 2016. So that is also the very same time when my previous boyfriend and I started dating. And he was very not nice about coaching. He absolutely hated what I did as a coach. He thought it was just like the devil's work. And so every time I would post something on social media, I would have to think, okay, am I going to get in trouble for posting this? What is Blake going to think? What is he going to say about this? Because he would make me cry all the time. If I posted a transformation picture, at 45 pounds heavier versus now, he would call me and tell me to take it down and tell me how embarrassing it was and tell me that his coworkers could see that and that's such an embarrassment to him. And he would tell me, because I wanted to coach full time and I don't have a college degree, that I'm just going to be like a trailer park status for my whole entire life because I'm such a failure, blah, blah, blah. And so that's what I had to deal with on top of, working full time and trying to balance this business. So basically I was crying literally every single day, multiple times a day because he was such a pain in my butt. So if I can work through that big of a negative Nancy, I promise you, you can get through anyone thinking whatever. They can think whatever they want about you, but it all comes down to who really loves you. That's who matters. That is who matters. And if people love you, the people who love you are going to love your stuff. And so I really, really, really had to push through and, figure out why you want this, because there are going to be negative people all the time, whether it's people you don't know, whether it's people that you do know. You can't let it discourage you because every single person is going to get that. Just in the past few months, I have learned that there are blogs up there on the interwebs, and my Jamie's downline, Chelsea's downline is on a lot of those. My name comes up a lot and they say very, very, very hateful things. And it's very hard not to look at, but that is the strongest, what will people think? And I read these things about myself and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing right now? Should I not be doing this? Should I not be eating that? Should I not be saying this? And it makes me feel like maybe what I'm doing is stupid. But then my confidence kicks in and I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing is right. I know I'm on the right path. I know I'm in Beachbody for a reason. And then, I get my confidence back and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this for me. I look at my vision board and I remember my goals and my why. And so when you have people in your life who think what you're doing is weird. Think that social media and you posting on it all the time is so weird. You just have to remember your vision. Look at your vision board that you have plastered on your wall and just tell yourself that your goals and your why are bigger than other people's opinions, because other people's opinions are not going to pay your bills at all. Like, so just buy. If they're negative, buy, say bye. So that's kind of like mindset. You have to make your mind be strong enough to not care what other people think, because it will only hurt your business. Okay, so I'm going to go over my notes. I think there's a couple of things that I missed. Okay, maybe I didn't miss anything. But the thing I want you guys to know is like, okay, can you raise your hand if you are working full-time, not as a coach right now? Like full-time somewhere else? Okay. And then out of those people, who wants to be a full-time coach or is working towards it? Okay. So that was me, obviously. The biggest thing that I had to realize was that I had to go all in. I had to do all the things, and I would ask myself every day, is what I'm doing worth it? So if I was, taking a break from work, if I was watching Netflix at night, if I was, doing something that I knew I could be doing something more productive, I would ask myself every day, is this going to get me to my goals? Is this going to help me reach my vision of, being a full-time coach? And if the answer was no, I would, pick up my phone, pick up my computer, and I would get back to work. So you always have to question yourself, like, is what you're doing now the most productive thing that you could be doing for your time? And then I want you to think about 1 year from now. If 1 year from now you are in the same exact position that you are in right now, the same exact rank, the same exact income, would you be okay with that? And would you be happy with that? Because I know I wouldn't. I would be crushed if I was not further along in my business and didn't hit any of the goals that I set for myself for next year. And so that's another thing I ask myself all the time, like, I don't want to stay the same. I need to keep going. And I hope that like hearing those words, like, a year from now, are you okay with being the same way you are now? I hope that motivates you, because it sure as heck motivates me to get my booty moving. But anyways, that's kind of what I have for you. It's a little shorter than I thought it would be. I hope it was helpful. I know I talk fast. I hope it made sense. I don't know.
It was awesome. I just have some things that I wrote down.
Okay.
So I know for myself, like, doing this full time for the last January, February, March, 3 months. Everything that you said, I feel like I've is literally what I went through mentally. Making nothing really switched for me until I created that vision board a year ago in January. Up until then, I was like just sitting at an emerald, not really knowing what the hell I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I was just, again, like you were saying, like I was posting, I was, doing call to actions and stuff, but I was not really in those DMs. I wasn't doing the hard stuff. And that's exactly it. That's exactly like the thing that I continue to find every level. Like, it's that, am I doing the hard things I need to do to get to where I want to be?
Right. And even like now, like, even where I am now, I ask myself all the time, I question, okay, why am I struggling so hard this month with recruiting? And then I ask myself, when is the last time you ran a coach preview? Oh, it's been a month? Well, there's my answer. I'm not doing the thing. Like, come on, Katie. So we always just have to check ourselves.
Yeah. I feel like like this weekend I was like I was out with Nate, and I was, this past week, it just felt hard. Like, I don't know. It's like, it comes in waves. And I was like, am I even doing, like, should I even be doing this? Like, we were talking about finances, about, taxes. I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't even be a coach. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
And I'm like, maybe, like, I don't know, because that's the thing. It's normal to think that way, but it's you think you're alone in it, and that's why people quit. You know what I mean? Like, you think that you're abnormal for thinking these thoughts, or thinking it's hard, or like, and like that's where the mind game comes in. That's where the negative, whatever her name is.
Negative Nancy.
Yes. And
Sure.
anyway,
I just like I just want to say like this week, like last month, that it was one of my hardest months. It was so hard. And I would text Dan and I'd be like, help, I don't know what to do. Things are falling apart. But like it's so normal. Like we always like idolize, let's say, obviously like we idolize Ashley Molstad. She's number one in the company and we think that she like has it so easy, but like no matter whether you're an emerald, a diamond, a 5-star, a 10-star, a 15-star, there are going to be months where you're just like, everything is falling apart. What do I do? And that's just so normal. And it would be abnormal not to have those thoughts. Can I just tell like a quick little story?
yeah.
Well, it's not really like a story, but so I hope that this gives you inspiration. So you have to keep going through those moments. And the reason is because, so I'm going to share my kind of like rank progression with you guys. So last year, okay, let me get my dates straight. So I went into 2018 as a diamond coach. And then in 2018, it was like, I can't remember the exact months, but from 2018 to December of 2019, I went 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. So all that time before that was just building up to that. And what if I would have quit because I wasn't seeing the progress fast enough? Like, what if I would have quit because it was taking too long? And then my 2018 year where I went diamond to 5-star, it would have never happened. So always, always, always keep that in mind. And I like to share my income if it's motivating. So I don't know if that's something that would help motivate you guys. If so, I can share it.
Yeah.
Okay. So like my 3-year progression. So when I started 2016, I made $0. So I picked one week in December. This is the same week that I always use. 1 week in December, I made $0. In December, 1 week in December 2017, I made, I think it was like $375. So that was even a year in, only making $375 a week. And then 1 week this past December, it was almost $2,900 for 1 week. And so you have to remember how much your income is going to jump each year. Like it may, week to week or month to month, it may seem very slow growing, but when you look back, you're going to see like, wow, I, doubled, I tripled, I quadrupled, I whatever, like every single year. And I think that's something pretty incredible to look at.
Yeah, that's something I think too. For me, I didn't really have an upline who worked the business. So a lot of like that stuff of what to expect, when do you really start making an income, kind of like that progression type stuff. I had no idea. I thought Emerald was a big deal. I thought Emerald was where I was going to start making money. And then again, I thought Diamond was where I was going to start making like, money, like enough to bring me home. It wasn't until this past, probably halfway through this year, I realized 2-star was where I needed to be. But I think, like, I just watched, Steve Innes's call that he shared in the new leadership group, and I just shared it with my team because, again, with understanding, like, this is the same across the board. We all start at the same place. We all, like, have to build up our volume. We all have to build up our legs and all these things. Like, there's, like, strategy to it. It just is like it's not an overnight thing. And I think that's where we have to like get back to the mindset of focusing on ourselves, focusing on our journey, and focusing on like literally how do we want to feel every day. Because I know for you, I don't know if you felt this way, but I know for me this last year, it got, part of the problem is I wanted out of my job so bad that I was pushing that pressure on my business, and I was putting that pressure back on myself, on my teammates, or on my, on my coaches, and that never works out. And it doesn't feel good. And what I realize is like long term, even when I do go full time, like, as this is growing, how do you want to feel? Like, how do you want your team to feel? and just again realizing that when your business feels good, good things happen. I
Yeah.
constantly, what I keep coming back to, like this past week that was hard, I had to gut check myself again over the weekend, and it's like, no, Amy, get back to the place where you were at, where it's just like you were showing up, you're feeling good, putting out good energy, because it makes everything so much easier.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think that a lot of that comes from like, do what you like to do in this business. And if something's extra and you don't like to do it, don't do it. And I learned that, like for me, like my frog that I don't like to do is like one-on-one calls. Like I just, I don't know. I don't like them. I just, they're really awkward for me. Like I'll do them, but that's something that I have just figured out other ways to do things. So if there's like something in your business that you just freaking dread and it makes you not want to do it, then you need to change it up. Like obviously we don't like invites, but we have to do those, so you can't really get around that. But I feel like you have to make sure you're doing the things that fuel you and forget about the things that don't, because you have to be happy, and like what you're doing literally has to bring you joy. Otherwise, when you sit down to work, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, why do I have to work right now? So yeah, just like you said, like you have to find that place of happiness.
But like, I don't want it to, so like the thing, all right, so I'm not going to say I love inviting, right? I'm not going to say that, but I do feel um, like doing the actual things that you need to do, like showing up and getting in your invites and doing your follow-ups and stuff like that. Like it just becomes a discipline, and it just becomes this mindset of like, that if you want to, like I was listening to Tony Robbins podcast this morning or whatever, and talking about how his, like, you turn your shoulds, like raising your standards, okay? Like saying whether or not like you deserve to be a diamond coach, or that you can actually hire a coach. Like you have to again embody and believe that you can, because when you believe that, and and you don't accept otherwise, then you like showing up and doing the vital behaviors and doing your workout and drinking your superfoods and doing your invites and doing your follow-ups and like starting to like take those steps of running a sneak peek and things like that. You're just going to do the thing because
Yeah.
that's the necessary action that you need to take in order to get to where you want to be.
Right. And if you're not going to accept anything else but knowing that you're going to do this, then it's like you already got it, because you're going to do everything that it takes. At the beginning of the year, when I created my 2018 vision board for last year, I made a sticky note and I wrote on it, TLF elite team, we can do it. I deserve it. And it's a team thing or whatever I wrote, but I stuck it on my window right next to my vision board. So every day I read like, elite team, we can do it. Like we're going to be there, blah, blah, whatever. And so it was literally my affirmation every day. Like, I know we're going to elite. I know we can do it. And I wasn't going to accept anything else. So I did it.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Katie? Anybody? Well, I am so grateful that you did this, because I think it's just, everybody can relate to your story, and everybody, like, the mindset shifts are just, they happen, and they just keep on happening. And I, like you said, like, what constantly keeps me going when on the times when I question myself, when I doubt myself, when I'm like asking, should I keep going, is thinking, do I want to be here a year from now? Like, or do I want to be like, will I be okay if I go back to where I was? Like, will I be okay if I quit today and had to, like, this is what I thought about this weekend. Oh my God, what if I have to like go back and apply for a different nursing job? Like, what if I have to like live that life that I dread living and would push me here? Like, you know what I mean? And like, that's what keeps you going. You just have to constantly keep your eye on your vision and,
yeah, literally always be asking yourself those questions because they're so powerful.
yeah, totally. All right. Well, thanks, Katie. And
Thanks for having me.
yes, I appreciate it so much. And thank you, everybody. And I will get the recording up. Oh, she likes your KDM hat.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, she says her boyfriend rides.
Oh, Dan, my fiance, rides, and we just came back from his first race of the season yesterday, and I felt like such a proud fiance sporting this new hat.
I love it. Oh, I love it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.